This is Srinivas from Kaviram Academy. Today we are going to see about keywords in our C programming language. So what are these keywords are and why these keywords are important in our C language. So we have seen that C tokens are very much important building blocks in our C programming. So here in C tokens, keywords are also part of your C tokens. So without these keywords, we can't write a programming in our C language. So we will see what are those keywords in our C programming and why these are important. So keywords in our C programming languages intend to do a specific task. So your C compiler, when they have designed the C programming language, they have predefinedly written some code for all these keywords. So whenever your C compiler sees these keywords, it understands that it need to do a specific task in our C programming. So this is the basic part of your keywords. And here in our C programming, we are having a 32 keywords. So these are your 32 keywords in our C programming language. Still, it is been all some other keywords are also being included in our C programming when different versions are going on. So, but these 32 are your basic keywords in our C programming language. And keywords, as I told you, these keywords are written to do a specific task in our C program. So here all these keywords should be written in your lowercase only. C is case sensitive programming language. So here all these keywords should be written in your lowercase only. We can't write all these keywords in your uppercase. Only lowercase we need to mention in our C programming language. So your C compiler or your C processor will understand when it sees these keywords, it understands that it need to do a specific task that has been written predefinedly in our C program. And one more important thing here is in your C, all these are lower predefined task, and these keywords should not be used for any user defined variable names or your program names. So we can't use these keywords for any variable names, and we can't use these keywords for your program names. So this is the basic point in our keywords. So now we will see about your keywords. So here 32 keywords. So the first one we will see is your integer. So integer is your data type, which will hold your integer value. And next one is your char. Char is nothing but your data type, which will hold your character type. Next one is your float. Float will hold your decimal value. So up to 6 digits. So float is used to hold a decimal value. Next one is your double. Double will also hold a decimal value up to 15 places. So all these four are your keywords in your data types. So here I have mentioned all your 32 keywords with specific types. So all these four comes under your data types. So data types which will hold different values. Integer will hold your integer value. Char will hold your character. Float a decimal values up to 6 places. Double is also your data type which will hold a decimal value up to 15 places. So these four are your keywords in your data types. The next one is your signed, unsigned, short and long. All these four comes under your qualifiers. So signed is also a keyword in your C programming language. So signed, it will specify that integer values, whether it is a positive value or a negative value. So signed will take positive as well as negative values, and unsigned is all which will also hold an integer value, but it will hold only positive values. So whenever we are having positive values, unsigned is used before your data types and it is a qualifier. Next one is your short. Short will also hold a decimal value, but a smaller decimal values will integer values will be held by your short. Next one is your long. Long will hold your large integer value. So these are your qualifiers for your data types. The next one is your user defined data types. So here the keywords are your type def. Next one is your ename. So these are user defined. These are your primary data types. These are your user defined data types. So type def is also a keyword in our C programming language. It is used to rename a predefined data type. So if you are having a predefined data type and if you want to rename it, we use this type def keyword for that one. So the next one is enum. Enum stands for enumerated data type, is also a user defined data type. So this one is keyword used here in our C programming language when you are having a constant integer list. So there we can use this enum keyword. So the next one is your auto keyword. So auto keyword is used in our C programming language and it comes from your storage classes. So storage class here, auto is a default storage class for a variable in our C program, and this the scope of this one limited to that particular function only. And here auto is used because whenever there is a variable in a function and if the scope of that variable is within that function, then we use this keyword called auto before a variable. Next one is your register. Register is also a keyword. So whenever your C processor sees this register keyword, it understands that the variable or the value that should be stored in your register, CPU register, rather than in your main memory. So whenever we write a register keyword, your processor understands that it need to store those values in your C register rather than in your main memory. Next one is your static. Static is also a keyword in our C programming language that is used in your variables. If we use this static keyword before a variable, that can be used, that variable can be used between different functions, and the scope of that is between different functions we can use those variables. So that is your static keyword in our C program. Next one is your extern. Extern is also a keyword in our C programming. So whenever there is a function and if you want to include some external variables or your links to the present function, there we use this extern keyword in our program. So the next one is about your for, while and do. So these three comes under your loops. So for loop, while loop and do loop. So we are having three loops. So for is used for loop and it's a keyword. So C compiler sees this keyword, it understands that is a loop, for loop, and it need to do a specific task in our C program. Similarly, while loop is also there in our C program. So while is also a keyword, do is also a keyword which will do a specific task. In looping we use a do loop, while loop and for loop. So these three comes under your loop. Next one is your keywords which comes under decision making. So decision making, next one is your if, else, switch, case and default. These five are your keywords which comes under your decision making. So if is used in your if case, else is also used in your if else case. Next, switch is also a switch case. In our C program in decision making we are using switch case. So out of many we will see, or our program what it will do is it will execute or it will select a particular statement based on the expression that has been given to the switch case in our C program. Next one is your case and default. Case is used in your switch case to select a particular case, and default is your default case. So whenever there is no case that has been checked in your switch case, then this default case will be executed in your switch case. So default is also a keyword or your predefined keyword. So C compiler sees this, it understands that it's a default case in your switch case. The next one is your break, continue and go to. So these three keywords are used in your jump statements. So these are your unconditional statements. Whenever we need to break, or whenever there should be a break in our C program, so it will come out of that particular loop. So there we use this break keyword. Next one is your continue. If you want to continually process the same statements, we use continue keyword. Next one is your go to. Go to is a predefined keyword in our C program. Here go to is used in our jump statement to go to a particular statement or your expression. There we use we will use a label concept. So there we use this go to keyword in our C programming. Next one is your struct and in your union. These two are your user defined data types and comes from derived types. So if you want a structure to be declared, there struct keyword is used. If you want to declare a union keyword is used there. So predefined keywords in our C program. Next one is your void and return. So these two comes from your functions. So whenever a function is not returning any value, so there we use this void keyword. If it is returning a particular value, we define it as that particular data type. If it is not returning any value, we use void before your function. Similarly, your function will return a value. If it is returning a value using this keyword return, that value will be returned by your function. So these two comes under your functions. Next one is your constant, volatile and size of. So these comes as your other part. Constant, if you want to declare a constant variable which will not change any value in its complete program, so it's a constant. There we use this keyword called constant. Next one is your volatile and a size of. Volatile is similarly used if it is not changing here in your memory, so there volatile is used. Next one is a size of. If you want to know the size of a particular variable or your data types, this is a predefined function that is there, keyword in our C program, which will automatically gives the size value of that particular data type. So for example, if I write size of int, it will give the size of your integer data type. So these are your 32 keywords in your C program which are used in our C programming. These all will do a specific task. So that is the first point. Next one is code has been already written for all these keywords in our C program. Next one is all these keywords should be written in your lowercase. And fourth point is you should not use all these keywords as your user defined variable names or your program names. So this is about your keywords in our C program. If you are having any queries, you can comment in the comment section. If you want your online classes, you can register to your Kaviram Academy. Your number is provided in the screen. Thank you.